if we're because I also feel like as humans in this society right now, we have the overwhelming need to label everything. What's up, peoples? It's your bartenders, Mr. Z.
And your boy Omega.
Happy New Year! From the Hadcast to you. We sit down this episode to recap the highs, the lows, talk New Year, and resolutions. Thank you for all your love and support this past year. It truly means a lot.
Special thank you goes out to our Patreon subscribers for their support of the show. Every little bit helps us reach our goals to invite more high-profile guests and create bonus content.
And if you want to join in our conversation outside of this cast, feel free to hit us up on Twitter or Instagram at HaveADrinkCast, and make sure to use that hashtag HADcast.
Remember, this is always a conversation. If you don't agree, you want to voice your opinions, or even suggest a topic for an episode, feel free to join our Discord as well. The link will be in the description.
And please, if you like what we're doing here, share us with your friends, your family, your neighbors. Hey, name your favorite drink after us and get your local bar to sell it. Your referrals mean a lot to us, as that's how we gain more listeners. So,
Thank you again.
and get prepared to sit
Think.
and have a drink.
Welcome to Have a Drink Podcast. Enjoy the episode.
What he said. Peace. What's up, peoples, and welcome back to another episode of the Have a Drink Podcast, where we invite you to sit, think, and have a drink. We're your bartenders, Mr. Z.
And your boy Omega.
Hey, happy
New Year!
Hey.
Sorry, low budget fireworks.
Hey, if I was better prepared, I would have had an entire fireworks display going on in the background as we were talking. But it is
okay.
okay.
Hey.
Hey, all right. So it's 2021.
Man, oh man. How was your new year?
It was, the same as yesterday, which is in the house, probably spending it in my closet doing something. I'm just on the computer.
Yeah, I dig it. Yeah, we went to my daughter's house, her place, and we went and played board games, had like a family game night type deal, bringing the new year that way. Something a little bit different.
Okay.
Yeah.
We made appetizers. I remade some vegan ribs that I tried to attempt for Christmas. I figured out how to fix it, so I'm gonna do that.
Hey, I love it. Speaking of ribs, one of my homies from high school, Robert Hernandez, he has his own company called Offset and Oak, and he does ribs, he does tri-tips, briskets, a whole nine. So he's doing New Year meals, family meals. Yeah, yeah. So I'm so excited because I could still taste it. We ordered the tri-tip. We
Ooh.
ordered the tri-tip, and then I also got some brisket tamales to go with
Okay.
it, and another rack of ribs. So let me just go.
He's eating large, living large,
Because
enjoying that.
I've been looking large, so I might as well feed it now. Because
Hey,
I'm on that whole 30, so I'm gonna slim it up. Might as well.
everybody's been looking a little large. Kind of funny because the segues into what tonight's episode is going to be about. And we're going to talk basically New Year's and resolutions. So you know how everybody's resolution is, I'm time to lose weight. When we talked about this before, you said that you wanted to kind of touch on, what 2020 has meant for us. What were the
Mhm.
highs and what were the lows?
Definitely.
My lows, obviously, as many people, has been the pandemic and the countless lives that have been lost
Yes.
due to the pandemic, the virus, as well as, police brutality, people's lives lost due to suicide. That's much like many people has been my low for 2020. But as far as, my personal life and how how 2020 has been for me, I'm very much the person that tries to make the most out of any situation. You know, I kind of see that reflected in my tiny humans. But just trying to make the most of anything. We're stuck at home. What did I go out and do? I went out and got supplies to build a closet office so that I can record my my podcast and my voiceovers and create all these things. Start a business. I created a lot of opportunities for myself during this time, after everything else got cut off, whereas, in the beginning of the year, we were I'm gonna say living large, like, we were touring, we were getting ready to go back on tour because, Jen just had her baby, and we were prepping for like the new year of sports and new year of entertainment and setting intentions for the new year. And then all of that got brought to a halt. I didn't think that should be something that brings anything really to that like still of a stop, because as humans, as as beings, any we evolve, and we're able to evolve, we're able to adapt. Like, all right, this situation is shitty, but you know what else can we do to make this not shitty? Like, if we're going to spend the next year or so in this place, what are we going to do?
And I respect that. And I'm glad you went first and you spoke how you did, because it brought something to my mind too. Um, how everybody in 2019 was like, yo, 2020, the year of focus, the year of sight, you know, and that's exactly what it was for me. It was a way for me to focus on me, focus on we, and focus on what I really want to be. So that's what that really was. I had to dig deep and see within myself about who I was, who I am, and who I would aspire to be. We had a lot of ups and downs throughout this year. Throughout the whole year of 2020, we had a lot of ups and downs. A lot more downs are promoted and pushed, but there was so many ups that we decided to that a lot of people overlooked. And I can understand, what I mean, because everybody's lives are different, you know, and as opposed to focusing on the downs so much, I really focus on the ups. I really focused on the ups. I kept paying attention to the blessings that I've been afforded, and it put it into a lot of perspective, the things that I have already. Not so much about what I could lose, but what I gained. I gained time. I gained a better focus on what I need to do and what I can do with the time that I've been afforded now. Because I mean, you know me. I run 100 miles an hour, 23 hours a day. I may sleep an hour, you know, and that's just what it is. Yep. And I know you feel me on that, because we run in the same circles. But this year has forced me to slow down, be present, and focus on me, focus on we, so I can figure out where I want to be. And that's what happened. So, like, this past year, I was able to have a really good cry. I had a deep cry. Like, see, this is something that nobody would think about, think to say it was good. But to know that I have the connection with my community the way I do, it really broke me down to my core. It made me cry. It made me look at my siblings with a bigger microscope and have a true appreciation for them. It made me look at my family a bit deeper, a lot closer. It made me look at my friends. And I kind of almost stopped saying my friends, started saying my family, you know. And because I'm really on this mindset of we're all just distant cousins. So it's like I really want to be able to reach out to my cousins and reach out to my brothers, reach out to my family, and keep them close and let them know how much they mean. Say it more than once a year, and truly mean it. So this year has really been an eye opener for me. Now, granted, yeah, I've lost family, lost friends, but that would have been the same if this pandemic didn't happen. You're still gonna lose people because what? That's dying is a part of life. You know, it's the circle of life. It's all something that we have to deal with, and it made me think: am I gonna grieve so much to where I forget how to live? And instead of doing that, I decided to live more. And man, this year has really showed me how to live. I reached out to friends to help me pass classes. I learned how to find my voice and talk to my professors. And man, I feel great to say I got an A in chemistry. I've never taken a science class since high school, and even then I did terribly then. But I got an A in chemistry. I got a high B in my math class. These are two classes that I was definitely afraid of taking, which is why they were the last classes. I was able to dig deep. This has been a beautiful thing. And some people are like, well, that's cool. You're smart. I'm like, no, it's not about just the intelligence. It's about the confidence that I was lacking in doing this. Because I could have all the intelligence in the world, but if I don't have the confidence to put that intelligence to work, I still can't pass and I won't pass, but I found it. So this year has been great. My family has gotten tighter, stronger. Our communication is getting better. This podcast has been a true godsend, like everything. And when people ask me, how are you doing? I say, I'm good. And even when I'm bad, I'm still doing good. I want you to look at me and see that I'm living proof of that. I don't just say it to say it, I say it because I mean it, because I'm alive to go through it. So all we can do is just do it. And that's what I love about it. So 2020, in hindsight, was a roller coaster of a year. But you know what? Every roller coaster comes to an end, and you have all the memories of all the twists, turns, ups, and downs. And you can choose whether you're going to be frowning or smiling, or with your head in the bushes puking. But either way, either way.
I mean, with the way 2020 went, yes. um, but yeah, thank you for sharing. Because yeah, I was gonna say too after you went, because yeah, this podcast wouldn't have gotten started if it wasn't for the pandemic. It started as a way for us to connect with each other over the distance, and then it just became something that we, that you and I wanted to do every single week, and we, wanted to talk and have our conversations, that our deep conversations that we normally have for hours on end, but we have it with a bit of a wider audience. And I've always sat there and pondered how we could reach a lot of people, with the way we communicate, because
Yeah,
I can I always wanted to create a YouTube channel or a YouTube like series or what have you that could, I don't know, where I was doing something that was I was able to connect with whomever was watching it, and like really lend them that space to feel safe enough to be vulnerable. That happens when, we're in person. um and between the conversations that you and I have, adding Erica, Aaron, Richard, Cranberry, like all of our brothers on the show, like, and our sisters like that have joined us, our guests, we've been able to have those moments of being raw and open, you know where we could leave an avenue for us to reach those really good cries that we need, you know,
100%.
because I resonated with you on that. My good cry was recent too. I've had, some hearty cries over the pandemic, whether it be for people that I knew personally, people that I didn't know personally, people that I looked up to over the 20th, the 19th, the 21st of this month. I really had to dive into connecting with, myself, my deeper pains and find closure within them. And that journey there released that deep cry, and yeah, and that being part of that balance of the ups, versus it being something that's part of the downs. I felt lighter afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, a really good cry is just the laundromat for the soul,
Ooh.
you know, and that's important. We all need it. And especially men, we need to allow that emotion to flow freely and let it out, and I know it's probably may seem not the manliest thing to do is to cry
I
because
feel
that's
like
what
that's the manliest thing to do.
but I mean
Like,
that's not what society or our families or people
right.
tell us. They tell us, men don't cry. Don't cry. Men don't cry. It's like, well, that's probably why there's so many men that got so many issues because they can't really feel vulnerable and release.
Oh, I couldn't help it. I, growing up, I just couldn't help it. Like, crying was just something that even through discipline, it wasn't the don't cry, boys don't cry kind of a interaction. It was better stop crying before I give you something to cry about. So it was more like
That part.
okay,
Part.
I'll be fine. But like, but then later I would cry. I remember coming home from school, and there would be days where I would come home from school, nobody's home, and I gripped the back of the couch. There was a joke that Dane Cook said where you just come home and you grip the back of the couch and you just and you just let it out. You're like, I tried my best. I tried my best. And you would just grip onto that one thing and just let it out. But like, on some real shit, like I laughed my ass off at that part because that was something that I did. Like, I would come home every once in a while and I just would feel the urge to cry. And I did. And I just let it out. And I felt it to its core, and then it was gone. And then I went about my day.
Oh, that's good.
Before I had more emotional intelligence around what it was, that I
Yeah.
was doing.
And it's crazy because it's like that would make me cry is my anger. I'd be so angry because I'm like, how could you look me in the face and how could you hit me or talk so poorly to me, hurt my feelings badly, and then tell me to shut up before I give you something to cry about? I'm like, you just did, so that's a hard thing. So to
Right?
control that emotion was something that I had to use even in karate. It's like I had to control my emotions and sparring and whatever. I have to control my emotions so I can think, so I can breathe, so I can be, you know, okay. And that's how I pivoted with that, And this year has really taught us about the pivot, taught us
Mm.
about the clarity,
Mm.
taught us about breathing, taught us about, focusing in and honing in on what we need to do. It's pretty amazing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. So I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay.
What was the lowest point for you?
In 2020?
Hmm. I'm going to start low because usually we start high and then go low.
Right. I think it was that day I called you.
Which time?
No, well, the day I either I
Most
called you or
recent?
I'm no, not most recent, but I called you or I messaged you, and I was like, I felt trapped. I woke up and I felt trapped, and I felt like I wasn't safe to go outside, whether it was going to be the virus that killed me or the cops. Like
Post protest.
post protest, yeah. And it was that day. It was just really feeling the depths, thinking about George Floyd, thinking about Breonna Taylor, thinking about everyone who lost their lives, people who were being hurt, beanbags shot at their face, people taking advantage of other people's pain just so that they can cause havoc, you know. Um, hurting people on every side just because they can. Um, and so I felt this this low point of like, is this the fall of our civilization? Is this the fall of what we know? And like that level of existential dread, you know, left me feeling terrified for not just myself, but for my kids, for my brothers, for my sisters, for my cousins, for my niece, my nephews, for all the people that I don't know. I feared, and like it hurt. And I remember reaching out to you that morning, and I was just like, I don't know what to do, because I was already feeling depressed. I was just feeling really low about myself in all areas, mentally, emotionally, physically, skills, talents, etc. Just was at a low point for leading up to that day, and that just day felt like the lowest. This was as we were launching the podcast. And really getting it going and talking about all these things that were happening. We're talking about, like, we were really able to just dive into ourselves and what was going on in our hearts, what was going on for us, and like, helping our younger, family members, through hard situations, through life. And then, yeah, then that hit. And I don't know. I think it was just a moment before. It was like the darkest before the dawn kind of a situation. It was the darkest moment. It was the darkest part of the night. Pandemic still ain't over, but but like it started. The sun started rising.
It makes a lot of sense, man, and thank you for sharing that. Um, I want to say my lowest was actually the day that I had that really big breakdown and cry. That was the lowest. And I say the lowest because everything got to me and it shook me to my core because this was the first time I literally felt powerless. This is the moment when I felt I couldn't protect my siblings. I couldn't protect my students. I couldn't protect anybody. I could barely even protect myself. And that really shook me. That really got to me. Where it's like I'm at the beck and call of a phone call to see if my siblings are okay. I'm at the mercy of my surroundings. I don't know if I'll be able to protect my household because I don't know what people are going to do in this neighborhood. I don't know how people are feeling, and just that moment of feeling powerless really, really, really got to me. And it was necessary because that was a moment when I had to go, Anthony, what are you going to do about it? Are you just going to lay here? Are you just going to sit here and do nothing? Are you going to stand up and do something about it? And that was when I had a mental and emotional change. I'm not just going to sit here and get beat down. I'm not going to sit here and act defeated. I'm not going to sit here and be a victim, you know. So that was my lowest point in this whole year was that moment. And I'm saying this because I literally lost students. Like some of my students have passed away. I've had family members that are passing away. I almost lost my eldest brother. I had so many different things that was just like really got to me. But that moment of feeling powerless was the lowest point. You know, how do you look at your wife or how do you look at your kids and you're not able to do anything? That was something that was so low to me, to where I was like, you know what? I don't ever want to feel this again. Now we talked about the lowest. What was your high point?
I feel like I hit that peak a few times. And I call it a peak just because, it's a wave. You ride the wave of the highs and lows. And the first one hit when I started, like, when I was able to spend time, with my kids, my family, and I got to swim with them for the first time in this house, you know. Uh, It's not something that I was doing because, you know, the dye in my hair, I didn't want it to change, and having to, you know, re-dye it every single week, it gets expensive. So I was just like, well, I'll just cut out swimming. Like I'll come hang out, but that's about it. Like, you know, so the first time I really got to spend um more quality time. The next peak happened when I got an unexpected present from my creative team, and I don't know, I cried because I didn't think I'd be as far as I was, you know, or even am now, you know, that it hit me, and I cried, and it was a good cry because like I felt a few feelings. I felt proud of myself. I felt proud that I have been working on something to completion, you know, because it didn't just fall with that project, because it's also this this podcast. We've been doing it week after week after week, and it's I feel like it's the most consistent thing that people have seen on my YouTube channel, like ever. um since I, you know, I stopped doing the little series that I was doing. But I felt honored. I felt honored to have people who believe in me enough to be on this journey with me. To have so many talented people willing to conquer this mountain with me. Um and the third moment happened, the third real like peak. It was it was on the 21st. Negro solstice. Hey. No, but I mean it was on the 21st. I was meditating that day, and I was meditating in the sun, just, you know, getting my vitamin D, and I don't know, I felt at peace. That moment that I was explaining where I let it out, and like I was really just like I got to the depth of a pain. It was right before that. It was right before that day. And it was where I felt lighter. It was where I felt at peace. So that peace became a peak. I mean, all these peaks became pseudo valleys, you know, before they hit their lows, and then, you know, they come back up to the peaks, and there's plenty more in between, but that's the three I wanted to talk on. What about you?
I'm going to I'm also going to speak about the peaks, but I'm going to sum them up because there's so many. So I'm going to sum them up. So family wise, it was the closeness that I received from my family. You know, I see that our bond has gotten tighter and my relationship has grown, has become greater with my daughter. You know, and to also see how my family really stood up for me and behind me to support me and to keep me up meant a lot, you know. So that was a big one. Um, Educational wise, it was the fact that I was able to see my progress in school and know that when people say I'll help you, they really come through and they really truly do help me out. And without those chosen few, I wouldn't have made it. So I'm very thankful for that and their help and their belief in me, from Mikey and my music class and Norm, to Ideen from my biology class, to Tina, Mona, um, in my chemistry class, Matt for my math class. I'm sitting here like legit telling you these are the people that helped me to get through these things, you know, and it was great. You know, of course, my family has been very instrumental in my growth and educational, professionally, to get messages from teachers as well as parents speaking about how much the kids and the teachers that come through love and enjoy our PE class means volumes, because all I've ever heard is negativity about social distancing and social distance learning. It's very rare you hear something positive, especially when it comes to PE, where they're just like, these PE teachers are a joke or these classes are a joke. Nobody has anything nice to say. But we've been getting a lot of great feedback. And that tells me we are on the right path, whether we're in person or online. So I'm like, thank you, God, I'm on the right path. Coaching wise, my clientele's building again. I'm getting that inspiration to be able to coach again and to feel happy to coach again. I needed this. I needed this time off to find that itch, to find that need, to find that want. I needed that break, that mental, physical break. I've been training and I've been feeling wonderful. I skipped out on today though. And yes, I did. I know. Okay. And jujitsu specifically was a journey, you know. And I've said this before is it's not about the belts, but it's about the acknowledgement, right? Now, that sounds like, well, you just doing this just to get the praise. No, it's not about that. It's not about that because you can work the same job for X amount of years, doing the same thing, doing it to the best of your ability, giving what you can, giving your all. You can't sit there and tell me it doesn't feel good to get acknowledged about your work. You know, there's going to be, you have those people that are customers or fellow employees, coworkers that are like, man, you should be a manager, or man, you know this place inside and out, you should be an owner, you should run this place, you should start your own business. That's great. My paycheck says otherwise, you know. Or I haven't been employee of the month, or I haven't, there's so many different things that would be nice, just acknowledgement to help you feel like, you know what, I am doing something good. So for me, it was hard because it's like I trained really hard. I would do the best that I can to be as consistent as I can, only due to my schedule. So now, and then on top of the pandemic, it was really difficult, but I was able to find that. And I've been feeling some type of way about it. It's like, I feel like I'm not getting anywhere. And I don't mean mentally or physically because I know I have been, but I'm like, I've been sitting in the same space for so long. And you hear so many people tell you, you are this, or you should be here, or you have this ability, you should be here. Like, that's not you. Like, I'm like, okay, but nobody's acknowledging that. You're telling me, but that's lip service, after a while. Even though I believe you, but to get that actual acknowledgement from your coach means the world. And to feel that. And it's like, I'm not chasing the belt, but it feels good to know that my work is being acknowledged the right way. Another peak, my last peak I'm going to speak on, is the Have a Drink podcast has been a true blessing, has helped in so many ways. And to hear that people are listening and taking part in the conversation and enjoying it has been amazing. And to know that we are a small business, but we have support. And we have been supporting other small businesses, and we're starting to create our own network, our social network, which is beautiful. And it's been driving me to continue to push and help other businesses, small businesses. And I'm more business mindset now. I have more of a business mindset when it comes to this. Like, this has been my thing, and it's been amazing. It's such a peak. Like, that's why I say 2020 definitely can say it was a downer for some, but it sure wasn't for me. Because you know what? You can't appreciate the sunshine without the rain. And even though we've had our rainy days, man, the sun always pokes out and warms me back up again.
Sweet words, sweet words. As
What was my resolution?
no, not really. I mean, I guess we could talk resolutions. Yeah, let's
I
talk
was I
resolutions.
was joking.
Let's segue. I no, I want to know, what is your New Year's resolution? What was
I
your
don't
New
have one.
Year's? No,
No,
good.
those are too easy for me to forget or to sidestep or not to follow through. I don't have a
Mm.
New Year's resolution. I just know that I need to do whatever I can to improve a little bit every day. So it's not about a resolution
Why do you think people set New Year's resolutions?
because they need a short-term goal. This is the only time people are actually setting goals, and then they forget to. So, SMART goals: specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, time based.
I ask that because because I don't set New Year's resolutions either. Because I've always felt like people just do these New Year's resolutions as like a way to point to something else and say, you know, that's responsible for me, becoming different. Cause I feel like people put too much weight onto a new year. Cause I mean, if we look at it, what is a year actually? 365 days. That's something that's been measured out by man, human, you know? That was something that was measured out by people. Like it's not anything that holds much weight. The only thing that holds weight for us is, the rising and the setting of the sun, depending on where we're at. Because I always thought about like Y2K and things like that. Like, oh my gosh, the computers are gonna crash at midnight. Well, that's 10 o'clock for some people. That's like 9 o'clock for others. Like,
Right.
so I mean, does that mean that at 9 p.m. my time that the whole world's gonna shut down, or is it gonna go in succession with the sun? With the time, with this construct made up by people. You know,
Construct.
that we can only experience in one direction. So yeah, I always thought it was weird that people created resolutions just to let them go later when it's just something I could just be doing today. Like why am I going to set it to like, oh, this new year, on December 31st, I'm gonna drink. I'm gonna do all sorts of crazy things. I'm gonna stay up. I'm eat like shit. I'm just gonna just get smammered. And then like on January 1st, that's when I'm not gonna drink. I'm not gonna eat unhealthy. I'm gonna exercise. I'm gonna change my routine. I'm gonna blah 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 blah. I always thought, like, why are you setting it for a date? Like, why don't you just start today and start little by little, doing the small measurable, like the attainable goals, the smart goals, as you were saying.
No, definitely. And I mean, you're 100% right. 100% right. But that's because that's what we've been taught to do. That's what people have always said to do. And I think it's important that we become the change we wish to see. And I've said that many a times. It's like, why do that? For me, it's just like, the reason why I want to start on the first is because I want to keep track of the days, 30 days
Hmm.
by date. So every day I look at the calendar, I'm like, hey, this is day one, this is day two, this is day three. But I very easily could start today and be like, okay, so from the 28th to the 26th, right? Or 20, yeah, right? 26th, yeah, right? 30 days, whatever. Anyways, don't judge me. I told you I got to be in math. Anyways, so, I could easily do that. So it's just important that we find these goals and we stick to them, in any which way possible. And it's important that we do smart goals, you know, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, time based goals. It's very important. And then I would even say just make them small and then little chunks. You can have a 1 week, 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. So now you're making them small again and just keep piecing it little by little. You'll be surprised at where you're going to be at. This year's my first year ever. I made a point. I'm sitting there telling myself, I'm my wife is the one who actually brought this up to me. She's like, "You don't have any money in your pockets? You're supposed to start the year with money in your pockets." Well, this year I'm not waiting for my wife to remind me. I'm making a point, so I'm purposely stacking money and putting money aside and putting it away to make sure I have money in my pockets that day when the new year starts. Because why? I want to start having more money in my pockets. I'm telling myself I want to have money in my pockets. I'm telling myself I am going to attain more wealth, not money. but wealth. I'm going to attain wealth. I am going to attain wealth. I am going to attain generational wealth. I am going to be more business and financially minded. I am going to do better. I'm not saying I would like to be better. No, no, no. I'm going to be better. How am I going to do that? I'm starting today by stacking up money and putting it in my pocket. I'm starting today by paying different bills better. I'm starting today by making sure that I'm more open and communicating and being more honest about what I'm doing. I'm starting today to better my health. How am I going to do that? I'm going to start reading a book to tell me how to do better. I'm going to start getting my mind changed. That's how I'm going to do this.
I was right there with you because like it's important, you know. Anytime somebody's claiming something and they're manifesting, I'm like, yes, like universe, hear that, like put it to it, like speak it. Words are magic.
Yeah,
Um, that's my secret. Don't tell anybody. Words are magic. That's how I succeeded almost everything that I do.
100%. Conceive, believe, achieve.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think it's really interesting because like, that's what I've been doing, is I've been trying to be more mindful. Didn't wait for the first of the new year to be mindful about the words that I'm speaking into existence. Um, because I didn't want to wait for that moment, wait for somebody to remind me, wait for somebody to, be like, "Oh, you know what you should have done?" And I'm like, "Nope, nope, I did it." Like I've claimed it. I'm doing it. It's happening. Like
Yeah, definitely.
this new year, I've already claimed that I will be successful. I've already claimed that my business will be successful. I already claimed that my projects will be successful. I already claimed that those working with me will be successful, you know? Like yeah, and I've already claimed that I'll be bringing that back to the universe. I'll be bringing that back to the communities. I'll be bringing that back to my family, my friends, because it's important. I made a dance video. I've been doing this dance series. I just made it up. I just called it a challenge and made it up. And that was just for my own sake because I wanted something to hold myself accountable to, but I didn't want to wait for like, okay, I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'm going to do it the next day, or I'm going to wait on this day and then I'm going to start this challenge, or I'm going to wait till a challenge starts. Like, no, I'm going to create my own challenge and I'm just going to go. And I was dancing to one of the songs I danced to was just this manifestation of ching 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 goes a money tree, and every time it chings, money comes to me. It all flows in so abundantly from the top, left, right, and up under me. Like I want that to, like I want it to flow into existence. I want people, like I want my dancing to not just attract people over and be like, oh, that's cool moves, all right, I'm gonna click out the video. Like, no, I want, while you're listening to it, I want that energy to be imparted upon you. Like, I want you to be successful. I want the I want everything I touch to turn to gold. you know um but yeah, I don't have any resolutions. I didn't have any resolutions and I won't. you know um 2021, if we're, because I also feel like as humans in this society right now, we have the overwhelming need to label everything. So let's label this next year. um uh uh ooh I am going to, tip my hat and give homage to another podcast with the McElroy brothers. It's called My Brother and Me, where they label each year. So 2021, the year of success and fun.
I love that. I love that. The year of success and fun. 2021, the year of success and fun. I love that. That's how this year is. The year of success and fun. That's what this is going to be.
Mhm.
That's exactly what this year is going to be. Because 2020 was all about focus. And now we found our focus. Now we're putting it in motion so we can be successful and fun. That's what this year is all about. This year, the year 2021.
Yep.
Success and fun. Love it.
I, That does the success doesn't just stop at wealth. It extends to our health. Whether that's mental, emotional, physical health.
Guess what my success is going to be in?
What?
Everything.
Ooh. Say it again.
My success is going to be in everything.
One more time.
My success is going to be in everything.
Power of threes.
Power of threes. I'm just letting you know. It's going to be in everything. This year, I'm getting my purple belt. This year, I am going to be going to San Jose State University. This year, I am going to be more financially minded and more financially literate and putting my finances to work for me. I'm telling you, man, this year my wife and my daughter are going to be better taken care of by me. That's just what it is. It's not something that I would like to have happen. It's something that's going to happen.
There you go.
Oh, and I'm going to lose some of this stomach fat and see my six pack and gain more muscle. I'm
Oh,
going.
I'm already losing some of this weight, so let's just keep it going.
That's it. That's it. That's it. I'm actually going to be more specific about it and say I'm going to live healthier by making healthier choices this year. Diet, diet wise, I'm going to be making healthier choices, and I'm going to remain more consistent with my workouts and make sure that I make that time for me.
Let's make that more matter of fact. I am making better choices. I am making healthier choices.
That's right. I am. Not I will. Not I'm going to. I am.
am.
There you go. Yeah, this is 2021, the year of success.
And fun.
There you go.
Question for our Discord.
Oh, yeah.
What are your smart goals for your life?
Love it. To our Patreon, everybody that's a part of our Patreon and our Discord, we want to say thank you so much for all of your patronage and all of your love and support for our podcast. Please continue to help us out by spreading the love, spreading the message, and talking to everybody else. And man, let's just grow our community a bit more. Shouts out to everybody across the pond and all over. We want to say thank you guys for taking your time out of your day, your night, or your life and spending it with us. We want to say thank you so much. We appreciate it. And please make sure you guys stay safe, stay sane, keep your hands clean, and make good choices. Listen to that inner voice because you know it's going to take all of us to get through this together. So please stay safe out there and just know you have all the love and support from the Have a Dream podcast.
Absolutely. And if you want to share your thoughts, your feelings, or just drop a hello, be sure to hit us up on Twitter or Instagram at Have a Drink Cast. And be sure to use the hashtag Hadcast so that we can check out all your amazing posts and comments.
Yeah, man. And please engage in our conversation. Our Discord's gotten a little quiet recently, and I'm a little sad about that. So I would love to hear you guys a bit more. And I mean, I love hearing from our regulars, but I also want to hear from more people. And again, happy birthday to Aaron. Aaron's birthday recently passed, and happy holidays to all that. That's what's happened within the last couple of weeks. So we want to make sure we say that, give those shots out. And for those of you that are listening to our Discord, that are in our Discord, if you don't mind, drop your birthday in there.
Yes, please. We would
We
love
would
to know
love
your
we would love to do that.
birthdays.
Yeah, we would love to give you some birthday love and shout outs and everything else. So, that's what friends do, right? So let's
Absolutely.
do it.
Absolutely. Um,
You don't have to say the year if you're weird like that. So don't worry.
hey, no, it's okay. You could just tell us, month, date. That way we can be like, hey, shouts out for this month. And also, if you haven't had the chance to check out our most recent, very first live episode of Have a Drink podcast, we did a holiday bourbon exchange live show on our Instagram at Have a Drink Cast. And we got to open and taste the bourbons that have been gifted to us, as well as chat with some of the viewers and individuals that wanted to ask us questions about what we were talking about, what the show was about, ourselves in general. Um, we had a pretty fun time, a pretty fun discussion. Yeah, it was the first test of our live show abilities to see if we can create a smooth live show.
And it wasn't too bad, not bad at
Huh,
all.
I loved it. It was really fun. Actually, if you want to check it out, it is still on our Instagram for our IGTV. So head on over to Have a Drink Cast and you can check it out over there.
Also, drop us some questions that you guys would like us to talk about, or if you guys really enjoyed the live IG live, and you guys would like to participate, let us know. We'd love to request and invite you, and let's do that. Especially those that are overseas or anywhere across the country, let us know ahead of time, and we would love to try to facilitate that and do it. We want to get to know you. We'd love to talk to you, and get your voice out there too. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
It's
And
about that.
shout out to Artes Lunas by this is who I'm wearing right now, local artist. Fire hat, fire San Jose sweater. So yeah, man, sweater's fire. So I want to say thank you for the great gear, and told you, man, I would promote your stuff online. So check him out, Arte Lunas, and we'll have him up on our Have a Drink podcast. I'll put up a link up there so you guys can check out his artwork. All right,
Absolutely. Yeah, go check it out on our IG. We'll give them a little BOB segment, Brown on Business.
there you go. Hey.
Hey.
All right.
It's about that time.
Yes, sir.
All right, brother, I implore you to raise up your glass, logo face front, laces front.
Get out of my business, Ace.
Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between, I want to thank you all for another successful episode of the Have a Drink podcast, where we invite you all back to sit, think, and have a drink. That's been us. Peace.
Peace.